under the lights on Monday night.
It's the NFL on EA Sports as you take a look there at Lincoln Financial Field in Philadelphia, PA. With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And, Charles, you look at this Eagles team as they enter play here. They come in just in an absolute free-fall, losers of 7 in a row.
And this is where you turn to your best players and look at them and say, can you guide us out of this? We've got to be better than what we've shown.
On the other side of the field for our visitors here, they're hitting their stride of late, winners of 3 of their last 4.
And going back through the tape, I thought they looked pretty good last week. It was a solid win, a comprehensive win.
The final playoff push is upon us. It's Week 12 of the NFL season, and we're underway on EA Sports. And a decent return out to the 27-yard line. So now here comes the Eagles offense as they get ready to take over. And they'll be led out by their third-year quarterback.
And what I loved about meeting with him before the game was talking to a guy who takes ownership of his performance. 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions last week, but all he focused on was the loss, okay? And he did say, if I change my stats a little bit, not necessarily for me to look better, but that'll help my team.
He'll wind up getting a yard on the game's first play at 2nd down. The numbers for him from a week ago, 9 catches, 114 yards.
Better tighten up the coverage if you expect to slow this guy down, because if he gets going, he'll eat you up.
2nd and 9 now. Got his man complete over the middle. That's Holt. Well, this defense, Charles, really played well in that win a week ago.
And what I saw on film was a nearly unstoppable pass rush. 5 sacks last week, plenty of hurries given up. So now what do you do on offense? You just max protect, keep everyone in and run the ball, or maybe just 1 or 2 receiver routes in order to try and keep your quarterback upright.
He needed a yard. That's exactly what he got. Earns him a new set of downs. They'll set up a throw. A little short pass here taken in by Laporta. And he will cover up as he's touched down after a short gain. 2nd down and 6 now.
At the 40-yard line.
A handoff for Samuel. Slipped 1 tackle, but no more as he's knocked to the deck behind the line of scrimmage. Now they're going to be dealing with a 3rd and 7 as that one officially a loss of 1. They're going to look to throw. Can't get away, and he's taken down. Multiple players combined for their team's first sack of the game.
Well, the pass rush has been a real strength of late. They know how to get after the quarterback.
Absolutely. 4 sacks last week. That's their first one here. Anything in particular you've seen from them or on film?
I think that they're winning athletically up front, winning those one-on-one battles, but also when the offensive line wants to keep everyone in and mass protect, they know how to scheme their way back to the quarterback as well.
Only 2 punts for him last week in the loss as he gets this one away. Calls for the fair catch, makes the fair catch just inside the 15-yard line. So out comes this offense to take over for the first time. And they will be led out by their 2nd-year quarterback.
And he ought to have a lot of pep in his step after last week's performance because he did exactly as you want him to play if you're a coach. 3 touchdown passes, 0 interceptions, which usually means you're making a lot of right decisions out there.
And got him to win. These are his numbers from last week's contest. 15 carries, 58 yards.
They've won 2 straight games, and they've done it with the running game as the focal point of their offense. So in this contest, I don't think about doing anything else. I continue to ride the hot hand that I've established and lead with the runners.
They'll drop to throw. And he will find his man on the outside. Now we'll get a stoppage here as it appears we've got an Eagle slow to get up. So as the medical staff takes a look, we'll step aside. Now a 3rd and 6. He'll look to throw. Now they go screen. It's complete. And he's able to get the first here as he's taken down at the 25. Give him 7 yards on the play as they do pick up the third down conversion. They'll look to throw now on first down. Able to shake it, but now he's swallowed up and taken down. Multiple players combined for their team's first sack of the game.
Like the footwork back there, and I thought he did a pretty good job of evading that first wave of players. Tried to buy a little extra time out of the pocket, but in the end, oh, that was a tough one.
Yeah, winds up getting buried for the loss. That huge loss on the sack makes this job much more difficult. It's now second down and 22 yards to go. He'll look to throw. Looking left sideline, it's complete. And he'll have this past the 30 prior to going out of bounds. Here's 3rd and 3. And here's a handoff out of the gun. And he will have a first down as they get him to the ground at the 37. They're able to convert with a gain of 4.
A lot depended on the spot there, and he got it, but it wasn't by much, was it? I remember Coach Madden talking about, depending on which foot the official used, that would tell you whether you had the first down or not. You want that upfield foot to be the one that spots the ball, don't you?
And you and I have the luxury of a couple extra views here in the booth, and he did get it, but not by much. Ball spotted at the 45. Here's second down and 2. From the gun, he'll hand this off. And the big boys up front, they're going to stop him right at the line. He got maybe a half yard at most, but officially they'll be left with a 3rd and 2. On 3rd and short, they'll try and pick it up through the air. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And it's picked up by the Eagles. And his crew will take over with a football at the 35-yard line. Every week we hear talk about create turnovers. In particular, they wanted to force some fumbles. They got one right there.
And it shows you how the game has changed over time. It used to be good enough for a guy to get a sack of a quarterback in the pocket. Now, if you come to the sidelines and you didn't knock the ball free, your coaches are upset with you. All right? So if you're a quarterback, it starts all the way back in the youth leagues. Take care of the ball, take care of the ball, take care of the ball, because here come the defenders.
They'll come out throwing here on first down. And he can't escape, and down he goes. The defense rising to the challenge and setting him back on the sack.
I wonder if they're wandering back to the huddle thinking to themselves, can we just hit rewind and go back a play? Definitely not the down they wanted to begin this drive by giving up a sack. But for the defense, that's exactly how they drew it up.
Now then, after the sack, it'll be interesting to see what they have planned for 2nd and 23. Here's a play fake as they set up to throw. Under pressure, they got him again. They overload him that time with a safety blitz, and he winds up being dropped for a loss of 7. Though certainly in a pickle here. They have a mile to go to try to pick up the first. We'll see what they've drawn up. That's complete to the portal. A heck of a play there on 3rd down, but amazingly, they're still short for 4th.
I don't know how many times, not just in my playing career, but you and I working together, have we ever heard a coach say, you know, I just don't have that play on my call sheet. And that's really what we had here. That was a big hole they were trying to get out of.
Yeah, big gain, still a ways to go, though. So the fumble recovery had them set up in ideal field position, but they can muster only 3 points out of it.
Yeah, when you're able to force turnovers, especially when it results in field position like they had, you really want to make it hurt. Here, they take the field goal. That's definitely not what they were hoping for.
And they will wrangle him down a couple yards shy of the 30. Back onto the field comes this offense, ready for their second drive. And they entered play on a 2-game win streak, and then they've got the open date on their schedule next week. So this is a group that's really looking to hit the break on a high note.
And this will obviously be a tough game for them, but go ahead and play this out with me, partner. If they win here and make it 3 in a row, they get to heal up after that. You've got to think that's an ideal setup and a worthy goal to play for in this one.
He'll get 5 out of the scramble. It's 2nd down. One back in the backfield, he'll get the carry. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. They picked up 5 yards last time. Now they double it and get 10 here.
First down, BlackKnights.
In motion goes the tight end. Running game working. They'll stick with it on first down. And after the good gain last play, this time they say, as he's going to be stopped behind the line of scrimmage. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
in the middle third of the field, but how about our defensive tackle right there? He didn't just hold the line. He provided some push and smacked the ball carrier down for a loss.
And that'll fall incomplete. He was hit just as he let that go. And now it's third down. Let's see what they have drawn up here. A little bit behind the line. 12 yards needed to gain a first down. On third down, he'll drop to throw. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. That's going to bring up fourth down. Only a gain of 2 there.
We can make this one pretty simple. Locked up all of his progressions downfield, forced to get it to his running back. But how about the way they ran to the football and knocked him down to force a fourth down?
And he was called on 3 times in the win last week as his first one here's away. And that hits at the 6 and carries into the end zone for a touchback. So here are the Eagles to take over. They lost 7 in a row coming into this ball game, but lo and behold, they have the lead here as this drive begins, 1st and 10. They'll begin by running here with Samuel. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd down.
2nd and 10 at the 20-yard line.
They'll look to throw. And he's got his man in stride, complete. It's 3-0 after 1 on EA Sports. Now 2nd quarter action from Philadelphia, and it's the Eagles in possession. The offense on 3rd down tonight, just 1 for 3 thus far. They need just a yard here. It's 3rd and 1. A little short pass here taken in by Laporta, and he is going to have an Eagles first down by a couple of yards as they're able to convert there on 3rd and 1.
At first glance, I thought he just used his size in order to win the route. But he also had a little subtle move in there as well. Made the defender think he was going one direction and was able to track the ball in another.
And that's good for a pickup of 10 yards. And they'll be left with a 2nd and about a foot.
It's 2nd and inches at the 42-yard line.
They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw. Over the middle and taken in by Laporta. That one a first down pickup of 8. Here's a give to Samuel. He'll get it across midfield down to the 49.
Well, they certainly had success throwing the ball in this drive and not as much running it as we just saw once again on that last play. Stopped after a very short gain. But I wouldn't abandon the run totally because otherwise, pass rushers just tee off on your quarterback. It makes it very, very difficult for him in that situation.
That will go as a pickup of 7 on the 7th play of the drive. This will be play number 8 here on the drive. It's 3rd and a yard. Here's Samuel. And they went the wrong way there. Losing yardage back at the 43-yard line. That'll back them up 2 yards and also bring up 4th.
Part of the thinking when you bring in extra tight ends, you're hoping that each of your guys gets those one-on-one blocks and creates a crease for your runner. You know what the converse is, though? You've got to win those one-on-one blocks, and when you don't, that's the result you end up with.
So they're forced to punt on 4th as this one's away. That one sails out of bounds. The side judge will walk it off, and he says it went out of bounds at the 9-yard line. Nice punt. And now this offense comes back out onto the field. Sitting in first place in the division. They've got an open date on the calendar coming up next week. So, Charles, you and I were talking about this before the game. This one for them kind of has some extra importance.
It certainly does, because if they can get the win here and pad their lead a bit or at least keep pace, then they can really kick their feet up and say a job well done at this point and not have to worry about ball at all until they're back in their facility, back in their meeting room, getting ready for the next game.
And 2nd and 10, he'll look to throw again. And it's a short one here, complete to the tight end. They do get a couple, but they'll be left staring at a 3rd and 8 coming up. Looking to throw. Forced out to his left. Now a loose football. The ball comes out, but fortunately he's able to recover his own fumble, or that could have been trouble. Offensively lucky there, able to keep the football, but now 4th down, so they'll have to boot it away.
I do think, though, they're going to look at this as a positive. 1, they recovered the fumble, so they retained possession. But 2, being able to punt it changes field position for them. Imagine if that turnover takes place there. Now your defense has to go onto the field and try and hold. Instead, they get a little breathing room.
Fair catch taken just inside the 40-yard line. So a change of possession here on the punt. And it will be Eagles football, 1st and 10. They'll start with the option. And maybe the wrong read there, as he's going to go down immediately. It's a loss of 4 on the 1st down play. But sometimes that option can get bogged down before the gears really even get into motion, and I think that's what we saw there.
And I think what he saw defensive end right in his face, because he looked up and he was right there. Didn't even have a chance to get going.
I think as he began this throw, you saw that the area was congested, but he has a lot of confidence in his arm, and he fits that one in there nicely. They pick up the catch. Not much yardage afterwards.
Escaping the press. And a big loss here as he's taken down. The defense rising to the challenge and setting him back on the sack. So that now 4 first-half sacks. This pass rush has been unrelenting.
And, partner, you hear that sound of paper being ripped to shreds? That's the game plan that they've had so far, because they've got to say to themselves right now, we have to do something differently.
The Eagles send out their punter now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. This is taken at the 23. It'll go as a 50-yard punt, 6 yards on the return. And they will take over 1st and 10. Now this offense back out and set to go for their next drive. They have the game here followed by the open date on their calendar next weekend. And Charles, this is a crew that you have to think really is relishing the opportunity to be on the couch for a few days.
Yeah, they certainly are, but let's face it, partner. They can't get caught looking ahead to that couch time while they're playing this one. They've got to take care of business first.
Will go down as a gain of 6, and that will bring up 2nd down. They'll look to throw here, and that'll be incomplete. Took a pretty good shot as he tried to pull that one in. Couldn't hang on, 3rd down. In search of 4 yards here to pick up the 1st down. Now they'll throw here out of the gun. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. 70th catch for him on the year, and like so many others, this goes for a 1st down.
And that's well executed there on 3rd down. And I love the confidence that they had to let their tight end try and find some space in the middle of the field, right in their quarterback's line of vision. And QBs love to make that easy throw, and they hooked up there for a 1st down.
Now a play fake here on 1st down. Rush coming, and he's taken down. Now whistles and a stoppage here. Looks like one of the Eagles is in some discomfort out there. While they come out and take a look at him, we will step aside for just a moment. Sacks, a growing theme in this first half. This is 2nd and long. They'll set up to throw. And that falls to the ground, incomplete. A nice job of bodying him up defensively. And now it brings up 3rd down. Now back to throw. He finds his man, complete. It's Wolf. And he has another 1st down as they'll get the ball down to the Eagles' 39. 3rd and 19, no problem, as they're able to convert.
That's really good play design right there, and it's one that comes down to the offensive line. It's a deep in route, but it's only going to work if that line gives you time in the pocket to wait for the route to develop. Mission accomplished there as they pick up the 1st down.
They'll look to throw here on 1st down. It's a short one here, complete to his tight end. So give him 5 yards there on the pitch and catch, and it'll be 2nd down. And they'll send the tight end in motion here. Off the play fake, he'll look to throw. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football.
A lot of bad news on that play for them, wasn't there? Lost the football, lost a lot of yardage, but I think the good news outweighs it. Able to retain possession. That was big for them.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. And the pressure gets to him again. He could not get away that time, and it'll be a loss of 11 on 3rd down.
Well, Charles, this has been something to watch so far. This is where you really feel for a quarterback. He's been running for his life in this first half.
Brandon, that's 5 sacks already, so you know he's got to be saying, can we get some more guys in here to block, please? Because if we don't, we're going to need another quarterback.
They bring their punter out there now as he's on to kick it away. Averaging 50 yards a boot so far as this one's away. Fair catch called for and collected right at the 10-yard line. So possession goes over here on the punt. And the Eagles will be backed up deep to get the drive started as they take over 1st and 10. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. He finds his man, complete. That's Holt.
And he'll get 2 or 3 out of that one, as that is going to take us to the 2-minute warning. Here's a 2nd and 7. That's to the tight end, Laporta. 7 yards there and a 1st down. 5th catch of the game for him there.
Yeah, and the tight end position is now becoming a volume pass catcher. Used to be occasional, right? Safety valve. Throw one to him every so often, but mainly they want him out there to block. Nowadays, an integral part of the passing game, and they create such great mismatches that they often become the leading receiver.
They're backed up here with a 1st and 20 now after the holding penalty.
Back to throw here. Over the middle, and there's a diving catch. Yeah, he'll be stopped right there at the 31. A good pickup there, 21 yards.
I'd have to say that whenever you see a good post route run, they do not like to let it end without the catch. Hence, that great diving play.
Yeah, lay it up there, let him go get it, and he got it. Again, he'll drop to throw. And this will be incomplete. Physical play on the football there, and it's 2nd down. They'll look to throw again.
This to Laporta, right side.
And past the 40 before he's out of bounds. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Back to throw again. And he's got his big wide receiver complete. The Eagles going to take the first of their timeouts as they stop it here with just under 40 ticks to go in this first half. Back to throw now on 1st down. Over the middle, it's complete. And he's corralled at the 40, but not before picking up 8. Now the Eagles will use the 2nd of their timeouts as they'll stop it with a little over 30 seconds to go in the first half of play.
2nd and a couple.
The play action fake. They'll look to throw. And he's got his man on the out route. And he's going to get this inside the 30. The Eagles will take their 3rd and final timeout as the clock will stop with 21 seconds to go here in the first half. On 1st down, he'll drop to throw. Pressure applied, and he's going to be taken down. They sack him back at the 33-yard line. So we are at halftime here on a Monday night as we'll get you down the coast to Orlando for Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
Okay, Brandon, thanks very much. Welcome in, everyone, to our EA Sports Halftime Report. Let's get you caught up on what's going on around the NFL.
Past the halfway point of the season and now past the halfway point of this game. We skip halftime and get right back to the action. set to begin the third quarter.
And we welcome you back live now inside the booth alongside Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin, set and ready to rock for the third quarter.
This offense ready to go to begin this third quarter.
And maybe time for this offense to really hit the reset button. They were shut out in the first half, but still, they're right in this game.
They certainly are. What I like about it is that you actually continue to play. You know, you just find a way to make a few plays yourself, and you noted it. Right there on the border in this game, they're not that far off. Just got to find a play or two, and they could be very happy at that point.
On play action, they'll throw. He'll rifle this one deep right side. That's caught inside the 20. And he is taken down deep in Philadelphia territory. It's a big play there. 63 yards.
And Charles, with that completion, I'm told that puts him now over 3,000 yards passing on the campaign.
And Brandon, I think we have to start to think about where we are in the season, because right now, 4,000 is not out of the question. I think a big game or two, he's certainly capable of getting that done.
Might we see our first touchdown of the game? Here's first and goal. Going back in the backfield, he'll get the carry. They'll get this halfway home from the 8 to the 4 on a gain of 4. Second and goal from inside the 5. They'll set up a throw. Dancing to his left. And he will take this one in for a touchdown. Taking it in from 4 yards out.
And the Black Knights have taken the lead as they go right down the field and score on the opening drive of the second half.
What an effort there. Sometimes you hold your breath a bit when you see your quarterback diving for the end zone. You don't want him to land on a shoulder wrong or take a big shot. But he looks none the worse for wear here, and that winds up a touchdown.
Extra point splits the uprights, and that makes it a 7-3 lead. Just a 4-play drive that time, and it results in a 4-yard touchdown run. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes.
And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line.
So here are the Eagles now as they get set for their first possession of the second half.
And Charles, it feels like we're set up for a good second half here. Came out of the locker room, one-score game. Now the lead has already changed hands. Well, this offense, they've got an opportunity right now to take that lead right back.
Yeah, and it feels like you're going back and forth, almost a little bit like a tennis match, right? And we're just, our heads just keep moving. Which side has it? Which side's going to score? How are they going to go out doing it? A little bit of a challenge for each side, trying to match each other.
They'll look to throw now on first down. And that's off the mark, incomplete.
To give you an idea of how accurate he's been throwing the football, we're in the second half. That's just his second incompletion.
Well, if he's that locked in, that means everyone's locked in, because to me it's like throwing a no-hitter in baseball. The pitcher may get the credit, a lot of people making plays behind him in the field.
He'll get only 3 there, so it leaves him with a 3rd and 7 ahead.
He'll look to throw.
Now a screen set up for Johnson. And he is going to have an Eagles first down as they're able to get the third down conversion.
For as many sacks as this defense has, you can understand their willingness to try and get upfield and get another. So what a really smart play call here to use their aggression against them, go with the screen, and they're able to get the first down.
Back to throw. And he's going to be swallowed up. Sacked back at the 45-yard line. He couldn't get rid of it. He takes a sack for a loss of 6 to bring up second down. They're going to look to throw.
Oh, he tried to fit it in on the slant, and it's intercepted.
There he goes right side. And he will take this one home. It's a touchdown.
Well, the defense obviously could not have drawn up a better start to the second half. They're holding on to that slim lead, just looking for a stop. Not only do they get the stop, Charles, they get the pick 6.
Another example that life comes at you fast, doesn't it? One play ago, they're defending a slim lead coming out of the break. Now they're one more stop away from thinking about a possible put-away drive.
Extra point forthcoming. And this one's right through to make it a 14-3 ball game. A heck of a play there defensively, getting the interception, navigating his way into the end zone for the touchdown. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick six, and now the kick is away.
And he'll be tackled just shy of the 25. Eagles set and ready for their next offensive drive. And they have had their problems moving the ball through the air as we take you through some of the action from earlier. This secondary has played about as well as you can. Many times they've left this quarterback with nowhere to go with the football. Already at the line, this Philly offense set to go. Now remember, they were just out here a moment ago through the pick six, so we'll see if they can take better care of the football this go-around.
Yeah, and sometimes, partner, I think it's almost better that you just throw the pick six and you come right back out on the field. You're not over on the sidelines dwelling for it for very long. You're not hearing everyone say, hey, you'll get them next time. Hey, don't worry about it. All that stuff just goes right out the window. You're right back out on the field with a
nowhere to go here. He lost the football.
Well, it looks like one of the DBs has it.
And they will set up shop with outstanding field position in the red zone at the 17-yard line.
That feels like an accumulation of the pressure we've seen all game. I mean, he's been on the turf a whole lot because of sacks. Eventually, something else happens as well, and this time it was a turnover.
Yeah, caught up to him.
And now this offense comes back out onto the field. They've got the ball in a great spot here, already inside the red zone following that fumble recovery. So from the 17 now, here's a 1st and 10.
They'll try and start this drive in the air. And a quick throw here, that's complete. And that's good for a gain of 6, and it'll be second down. One back in the backfield, he'll get the carry. And he'll be brought down here at the 3-yard line. 7 yards on the pickup there, and now they've got it 1st and goal.
They got the ball in great field position after the fumble, but this defense tried to stand tall.
They certainly are, and a lot of times after you pick up a fumble or get an interception, you have momentum on your side.
And he is into the end zone for a touchdown. A great play there.
His 7th rushing touchdown on the year. And the BlackKnights get another third-quarter touchdown to add on to that lead.
Out comes the kicking team here for the extra point. And it's 21-3. Scoring summary, 3-play drive. And it ends with a 3-yard scoring run. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away.
And out a little across the 25 to the 27. The Eagles offense and their quarterback headed out for this next possession. And it's been a rough night at the office for him. He's been more of a liability than an asset throughout the contest. And this offense is having a hard time overcoming his struggles to this point. The Eagles offense set to begin their next drive. I kind of feel like they've reached a do-or-die point in this game, Charles. If they're going to try to pull off an impressive comeback, it has to start right here, right now.
Yeah, now they've got a final chance to get out of this situation, but they also understand they've got to move the ball and move it fast. In addition, they need to save as much time so they can get 2 more possessions.
Now a give right side. It's Porter. Only a couple there as he'll be brought down about the 28.
Sometimes your philosophies get challenged at times you don't want them to. They did try to stick to the running game on the first 2 plays. Didn't amount to much.
And now facing a 3rd and long at the outset of this drive. On 3rd down, he'll drop to throw. And that's going to be incomplete. The contact there enough to jar that ball free, and it brings up 4th down.
Looks like another empty possession offensively. And you're at that point of the game where you can't afford too many more of these. So this is going to require some heavy thinking on the sideline to figure out what they can do to crack this defense.
Officially, that'll go as a 52-yard punt. Not too shabby. And out will come the offense as they take over.
The Black Knights offense and their quarterback ready to go once more.
The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. They really struggled in the first half, but they've made some adjustments looking better in the second half. But sometimes do we overanalyze? Is it always adjustments, or sometimes is it guys just sticking better to the game plan?
I think the latter, and I love how you brought that up because we always want to credit, oh, they adjusted here and they made this change there. Sometimes it's just executing what they worked on in practice all week much better. In this case, I think it's a combination. They found a different part of their playbook, and it's working really well for them.
Working extremely well at this point.
Here comes third and about a foot.
He'll look to throw. And that is incomplete, but a penalty flag coming in. This could be a first down.
Defense.
After the penalty, a fresh set of downs. It's 1st and 10. Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. It's a short one here, complete to the tight end. And the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves them with 2 to go on 2nd down.
Now a 2nd and 2.
They'll bring a receiver in motion left. Here's a quick throw caught out wide. And he goes out of bounds. It looks like right at the 50.
It's a gain of 3. First down, BlackKnights.
And they'll send the tight end in motion. On first down, they'll go to the ground attack. And that play going absolutely nowhere as he's belted before he could get out of the backfield. It's a loss of 4 there, bringing up 2nd down. They'll drop to throw. And he's going to find his man out of the backfield. That's complete.
That might feel like a little bit of a lost opportunity there for the offense because the defense brought pressure that time. And sometimes against that, you can get out to your running back, and it could turn into a big gain downfield. But what a nice job they did getting to him quickly and holding him to a short gain.
It's a short one here, complete to his tight end. So 5 yards here, 5 on the play. And that's going to bring up a 4th down. So they bring out their punter as he's on to punt for the 4th time tonight. He's averaging just under 50 yards a punt as he gets this away. And this punt sails over the sideline. And the spot, it looks to be right at the 25-yard line. Philadelphia getting set to take the field.
See if they can put this drive in the end zone, Charles, because it's been a little bit of a rough go at times. They've had to punt the football a ton in this ball game because of stalled-out drives.
So are you saying that you're kind of tired of seeing the punter run out there and do his thing during this game? Is that what you're trying to say?
Well, I mean, I'm okay with it. I have a feeling that this offense, they don't want to see the punter again.
And frankly, the punter doesn't want to run out there anymore himself. He would love to see his offense put together a drive and give his leg a rest.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. He'll drop to throw.
Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And he is going to have an Eagles 1st down. They needed 3. He doubled that. He got 6.
They brought in a heavy set on 3rd down, and that usually means running play. But we have seen them throw out of that formation. And sure enough, they snuck the tight end out on that one. Wound up hitting him for a 1st down.
And he's dropped right at the 40. Gain of 3. It's a gain of 3 on what will be the final play of this 3rd quarter. 1 quarter remains here as we wrap up the week on a Monday night. We'll return with more after this. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. And welcome back. We are in the city of brotherly love, Philadelphia.
2nd and 7.
It's the Eagles behind on the scoreboard, but with the football here as we start the 4th quarter. And his throw is going to be incomplete.
Well, he's smart enough to avoid the taunting rule, but I'll guarantee he quietly has told them, you might want to stop coming after me downfield because I just broke up another pass and took away a big shot that you were trying to succeed with.
And he's going to come up a few yards short. Brought down at the 45. It'll be a gain of 5, and it'll be 4th down. You got the big lead defensively. Willing to give him that underneath stuff, right?
And this is why you work on your tackling. Tackle them after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running. Just go ahead and bleed the game out that way.
And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. The Eagles unable to convert there on 4th. And the ball will go over on downs on the short side of the field. Well, they've clearly made a conscious decision here to be more aggressive in the late stages of this game here in the second half.
And I get it. In this situation, if you want to be aggressive out near midfield, you feel good about your defense maybe, or just, hey, I thought I had a proper play call. But how about the guys that just stopped them? How good do they feel right now? Hey, you want to go for it here? We shut you down? They're over on the bench right now feeling great.
Well, they'll run it here on the jet sweep.
Oh, and this one may need to go back to the drawing board. He's going to be swallowed up right away.
The offense on 3rd down tonight, not quite 50%, 4 for 9. Here it's 3rd and 3. One back in the backfield, he'll get the carry. And he appears to be about 2 feet short on 3rd and 3. Leaves him with a 4th and 1. This late in the game, Charles, I think you maybe seriously have to think about going for it.
Especially where they are in terms of field position, because this is almost like no man's land. Might hurt your punter because there might not be enough space, maybe too far for your field goal kicker. I'm like the old rule. Possession is 9/10 of the law. Possession is 9/10 of winning the game. Go for it. Get the first down. Close it out.
And he'll be taken down, but he does have first down yardage.
First down, San Diego.
The slot man in motion right. And they're going to give it to him on the jet sweep. And they're going to stop him right at the line of scrimmage. Just no cutback lane to be found whatsoever. 2nd and 10. Now a 2nd and 10.
At the 32-yard line.
Here's a play fake as they set up to throw. Throwing left side, it's complete. And well, somebody lit a fire under that offense during the break.